Buying art supplies for an artist as a present is a tricky deal because people have their own preferences when they're making art. But I do have a few suggestions that I think the artist in your life might really enjoy. First up is something that's kind of consumable or that they use quite a bit of, and sketchbooks are great for this. Now that being said, whatever you're purchasing, you do want to make sure it's meant for the medium that they use. And that means that you can't just buy any sketchbook that you see because most of them are meant for charcoal or pencil. And that means if they're into something like watercolor, you need to make sure you buy paper that's specifically made for watercolor, like these two. The good news is that paper is typically pretty obviously labeled for its purpose, so as long as you know the main medium that the recipient likes, you can just go find some specialty paper that's made just for that. If you're looking for smaller gifts or stocking stuffers, something like these Uni Kuru Toga white gel pens, or they come in metallics, they are beautiful and really fun to use, or a fun pack of washi tape could also be great. Most artists will also appreciate a nice pencil. These are my two favorite pencils. This is a mechanical pencil, easy to reload, and I just think it feels really nice and has a super fine point. This is the Uni Kuru Toga, and then I got it in the 0.5. If you don't think they'd like a mechanical pencil, a Blackwing pencil is a really fun present. They're a really simple pencil design, but the graphite in them is just smooth and creamy, and when you sharpen it, the lead doesn't break, and that's just so nice. If the artist in your life is obsessed with color, I have 3 different fun color suggestions. The first is the Color Scheme Bible. It's actually meant for interior decorators, but I use this all the time to come up with fun color palettes. There's also Palette Perfect, which does this in a similar way, but they also kind of show the percentages of the colors that you should be using in different color palettes. And then there's the Color Cube. This is made by Sarah Renee Clark, and in it has all these fun cards with these different images, and then the color palettes on the back. And this one's really fun because you can kind of just close your eyes and grab a card and then paint something with the color palette shown on the card. Buying somebody a palette of watercolor paint is kind of tricky business, but that being said, you can actually buy from different brands these dot cards, and these cards have little dots of watercolor that the artist can actually try out and see what they like and experience, and it's a really fun thing to play with. Small handmade watercolor businesses often offer these, so does Schminke and Daniel Smith. Fun and funky or art-inspired jewelry. One of my favorite earring artists is Love Hey Lola, and she makes bright and cheerful jewelry with things that she's found and recycled, and I just think they're so cool. I also really love these earrings that are mix and match because they're sold individually, and they're by Studio Cult. And I have one that is a pencil and then one that's a binder clip. My final suggestion might look more like survival gear, but hear me out. I love using a headlamp on the couch at night when I'm painting so that we can have it nice and dark, but I can still do my little things. I think my suggestions are fun, but obviously if you have an art lover in your life who's asked for specific supplies, it's better to go with what they want because they have specific reasons for why they asked for what they asked for. But these are some fun things for maybe if you don't know or you want to have it as a little bit of a surprise, because some of them are a little out there. I would love to know what your favorite art present is that you've ever received.